Are you ready?
I was born ready.
And we are live. Action Junkeez podcast number 3. That just sounds good, doesn't it? Podcast number 3. I am John Orlando. To my right is Jake Ellenberger, UFC fighter, top-ranked welterweight for years, sitting right before us.
It's good to be back.
Right? I can't lie. I look forward to Thursdays now, even though we're going to change days. Oh, so I should just bring that up right now. So I think the rumor is that now we're going to start releasing these on Wednesdays in iTunes. So
Okay. Every
Wednesday is when we got to go on a tweeting rampage to get the... You know, I made jokes, Jake. You know, we basically debuted in iTunes now last week, and we hit the charts, man. Number 96. At one point, I was excited we were number 102. You know, iTunes posts the top 150. But think about that. That's worldwide. That's people podcasting in Paris, in
Poland,
Stad, in you name it, right? We cracked the top 150. And we even broke through the top 100. We came in at 96 when it was all said and done. I don't know if we're still there. I don't even want to look. I just want to, in my heart, we're there.
That's pretty good.
Right?
That I think that surpassed our expectations.
So that tells me that I kept saying, I don't think we're going to get any listeners, maybe 4 or 5 listeners. Clearly, we've got more than 4 or 5 listeners. I don't know what the number is, and I don't know if I want to know the number. But people are listening.
It's in the 13, 14. Maybe?
We may have cracked definitely double digits for sure.
Yeah.
Maybe triple digits. I don't think you can get to rank 96. I would think to get to number 96, you'd at least need 96 people listening.
Sure, that's fair statement.
I mean, it's just I don't know how that math equates. I didn't do well in math in school. I didn't do well in school, Jake.
Really?
No, I was the guy that he like my report card. And, you know, I'm considerably older than you, so I don't know if your report cards looked the same as mine did. But back then, you'd get a grade for the class. Then you would get this cooperation grade and work habits grade. And for cooperation, you either got an E for excellent, an S for satisfactory, or a U. So your report card, if you were like a scholar, it looked like A-E-E. Right? Like in English, A-E-E, math, A-E-E. Then the kids that were, not quite that good, they got B-E-E, right? I was C-U-U.
Is that a university online or something?
Yeah, I wish. Yeah, right?
You like unsatisfactory in cooperation?
Yeah.
Or in...
Yeah, and I feel like I got set up a little bit because this may come as a shock, I was the class clown. Jake, I don't know what you were like in school. Mm-hmm. I bet you were kind of well-mannered and quiet, if I had to guess.
That's pretty...
You were a good kid. You were just Jake. He's just a good kid. Everybody liked you. I was the one who didn't shut up. Okay. Kind of like on the podcast here, and we'll get to that too, because I've gotten feedback from the people. The people have spoken, and they've said that I talk too much, Jake. But let's circle back to that. I want to stay with my school issue for a minute.
Okay.
So... I was the class clown. And here's where I don't think it's fair. If I say things in class, like the teacher would make a comment or she writes something on the board, and then I would throw my 2 cents. I did color commentary as a student. Mm-hmm. Okay? And if the teacher laughs, if the kids laugh, I might be in trouble. But if the kids laugh and the teacher laughs, I don't think it's fair 8 weeks later to give me an unsatisfactory in work habits or cooperation. Right. Because if you're laughing at the material, it would be like if you went to a comedy show, right? And you laugh for the whole 2 hours hysterically. Can you go to the box office and ask for a refund?
No way. You got to assume that's what they're there for, is to laugh.
Right. So if you made them laugh, there's no refund coming. Especially if you saw them laughing. They can't go back, right, and say, no, I want my money back. Right. That's essentially what the teacher did to me.
Was it kind of like she'd laugh like she had a good time, but she had to go with like school policy or school rules, like.
Yeah, I don't know.
Or is it
man.
totally? Is it like
I
she's
just
her
felt
dean?
like-
It's referee discretion, totally up the rep.
Yeah, kind of like that. I think it, just didn't
Yeah.
make sense to me.
That's not fair.
Not right. It's not right. But so yeah, podcast number 3, we cracked the iTunes charts, which is really exciting.
We're rolling, baby. As Burt Watson would say, we're rolling.
We're rolling. We rolling. Miss him. Love him.
I know.
Where is he now?
He's back east where he's from, and he's working with another show. I can't remember the name of the show, but a smaller show. But I think he's enjoying it. He's still enjoying what he does.
I saw you and I went to Bellator a few days ago.
Right.
Tito and Chael, which was good. And I saw afterwards when we went to eat, I think you talked to him. I don't know him, but I saw Stitch.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stitch, great guy. He's great. He's one of the guys I went to Afghanistan with when we did a.
Oh right.
We did a tour and we spent a lot of time with. It was a good time. It was.
And you went with Big George and Goes from MMA Junkie.
The MMA Junkie guys, and which is funny because I almost didn't go. It was one of those like you agreed to, and then like that's months away, and then as it gets closer, because I went to Brazil. Like I had a few trips planned out, and that was one of them. And by the time I got to that trip, I was like, man, I'm kind of burnt out. I'm done. I don't want to travel anymore. And I'm glad I still went because I almost didn't go, but it ended up being the best trip of my life.
How long were you there?
It was like a little over 2 weeks.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
And you're sleeping like in like the barracks? Is that what it's? Pardon my.
Yeah, no, pretty much. We're in like what they call the green zone, but you'd be like, we were like a VIP guest, so we were well taken care of. Yeah.
Well taken care of, but you're still in a war zone, right? I mean, like shit could pop off.
Oh yeah. We first we flew from this base in Kazakhstan to Bagram, which is I think
Kazakhstan, like Borat,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
Okay.
And we went to Bagram, which was like the biggest base at the time in Afghanistan. I think it is still like something like 30,000 U.S. troops. But funny enough, literally the day I get there, we go to this office and check in, and I run into a guy that I went to school with, like the University of Nebraska, Omaha, which is not really that big of a school. And he wrestled there, and he went into the Army, and we literally just like walked into each other.
You had no clue he was even there.
I had no idea. I didn't know he was
That's insane.
I didn't even know he was in the Army.
Right.
Let alone deployed, part of a special forces unit, and we run into each other in Bagram. It was really insane.
And so he hadn't even seen you since you'd been in the UFC or anything like that either,
No.
right? So he knew that you were a UFC fighter.
yeah,
I'm sure, right?
you've watching on social media, that kind of thing.
That's cool.
But-
And when you're there, are you wearing do you wear here come the dumb questions. Bulletproof vest?
We do have a flak jacket and Kevlar on. When we're walking around, they say to always wear it, but we don't really walk around a lot on your own.
Right,
You're usually
right,
escorted by a lot of
Yeah.
security, so it's
You're not walking down to 7-Eleven. Well, there is no 7-Eleven, but if there was,
Right.
you wouldn't go.
no. Well, exactly. You wouldn't go by yourself. You wouldn't go unprotected. That kind of thing. But
And do you hear like bombs and crazy shit?
yeah, in certain areas there was a lot of mortars. Like Bagram, we actually heard quite a bit.
Wow.
And if in every base we went to, it was another reason why it was such a fun trip, because we went to so many different bases.
Mm-hmm.
Like we never really stay. We'd stay in one place for a couple days and we go to the next place. So we ended up going to like 7 or 8 different places. Sometimes we'd go to one place for a day and then leave. But that was kind of cool. I liked that, the spontaneous,
Right.
meeting new people, and like, the feedback we got was just incredible as far as like the troops and people that get deployed for 8 months to a year. It's like, we had people like, oh, you made my deployment, and it's like, man, we're only here for 2 weeks. You guys are here
Right.
for a year. That's
And when you fly over there, are you flying commercially, or are you on like a military plane from the beginning?
initially commercially. We go, you go to Istanbul,
Mhm.
and then from there to Kazakhstan. Once we got to Kazakhstan, we flew a C-130 into Bagram, so military.
Wow.
And that was kind of a crazy experience because I had never flown in a C-130. They have no windows.
That's
so
the big guy that
Yeah.
they can put a tank on it.
Oh yeah,
right?
yeah. That's a big cargo plane. But it's weird because you're in the inside and it's very open. So there's only there's maybe 15 people flying on this flight and
Like our listeners.
right.
Exactly. Same amount of listeners on the as on the
equal
flight.
amount of listeners.
Got it.
And it's so loud inside there, and there's no windows. So imagine that for a second. Like your ears are, you're about to plug your. It's almost hurting your ears. It's so loud. But I don't know. For me, I'm a visual guy. I know you are. I think.
Yeah.
And like, the comforting part on a plane, you look out the window.
Right.
You're like, oh, we're good. We're fine. And you can't see anything
Right.
on a C-130, which was kind of a trip.
Is it bumpy?
Yeah, really bumpy.
It is.
It's exactly. It's not like a smooth, Southwest flight to Las Vegas, for
Right.
example, but it's loud. It shakes a lot too.
And the C-130 is so massive, and I get it, aerodynamics and all that shit, but, you still look at the C-130 when it's on the ground, and you're like, are you sure that can fly?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's a big... I get it, in the lift and the jets and the propel. Yeah, it's great. But it doesn't... I still don't get it.
No, I know. It's like a small motel. You're like,
Right.
That's going to fly?
Wow. Were you nervous flying in?
A little bit. That's the other thing, too, is we tend to forget we're flying into a combat zone. So it's like, they're on the loudspeaker. We are now in Afghanistan. We are considered a combat zone. There's all these risks involved, which was definitely, it was a trip. But once we got there, it was so much fun.
And the soldiers are so happy you went out there,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
You feel it.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. All branches, Navy, Marine Corps, Army, Air Force. And they're all super, because, they're welcoming anybody. It's
Right.
like,
Even me, if I showed up.
If
they'd
you
be like,
showed up.
shit, John Orlando's here. 1,500 followers on Instagram.
Yeah.
And he came to see us.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. Exactly, like I said, they were so excited that we were even there. Just to talk to somebody else, get a different perspective, a new face.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's insane. I love it. So, you'd go back.
Oh, I would. Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe we need to do a podcast out there. Maybe we need to go.
Sure.
Maybe I just need to grow a pair and let's just go. My dad went. I chickened out. I didn't go.
Really?
Yeah. He went a couple years ago with, I want to say Toby Keith
Okay.
and Gary Sinise. And
Like an AFE or a USO maybe?
USO.
Ah.
Yeah.
Was
I don't
he-
know for sure, Jake. I'm making it up as you asked the questions. I'm not positive it was
That's
USO,
okay.
but it sounded good. USO.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was though.
You have no idea.
I didn't go though. Oh, someone just won $8 at the poker table right outside the podcast studios here for the Action Junkeez. By the way, we're in our original home today. We like to move around here at the casino. The Hollywood Park Casino is so nice. It's brand new. Why be anchored to just one room? We like a little variety. It's like my love life. I like a little variety.
There you go.
I don't want to eat chicken parm every day, even though I love chicken parm, right? But if I have a steak, doesn't mean I love chicken parm any less.
Do you like sushi?
I don't eat sushi, but I love sushi restaurants.
Right.
Yeah.
You're a teriyaki chicken.
I'm a teriyaki
Gotcha.
guy,
Yeah.
for sure.
Shrimp.
But I got to watch what I'm eating now, Jake, because I've been in the gym. And you actually, I don't want to, I'm just saying, it was about a week ago.
I
You
noticed.
actually said to me, you've been working out?
I remember that.
And I like that, Jake.
Yeah.
I like, when a pro athlete, a man of your stature, a man in your kind of shape, which I'll never be in, never have, never will, but I aspire to get there. I like that.
I noticed.
But I got questions for you along that. First of all, I got this little tennis elbow thing going on, which we don't need to talk about, but I don't know what's up with that. But I've got this elbow thing going on. I can't even curl 10 pounds right now. That's
Really?
how much pain. Yeah. Irritating.
Is it like a nerve pain?
I don't even know the difference. I don't even know. I don't know. Like, that hurts. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah. What's that all about?
I
Old?
don't know.
Just old age? Is that what it is?
Old. That could be part of it, but also if you haven't worked on that muscle, if you haven't used
That's
that,
a weird motion you're doing right
I'm
there,
just saying,
Jake,
if you
because
haven't-
that motion did look familiar to me. That's a motion that looks familiar. I think I worked up. Maybe it's overworked. Now that I just saw you do that, never mind. I figured out what's going on. I can manage it internally. I got it. I need to cut down on certain aspects of the movement of certain body parts.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
I mean,
say no more.
I don't know what you do outside the podcast. I'm
Right.
just saying.
Yeah. Well, apparently I've got a lot of spare time on my hands now. I've just realized that. That's what that. When you did that motion, that showed me what I'm doing wrong.
And for people who can't see us right now, it was more of like a bicep curl motion. Like, at least in my mind, that's what it was.
Well, that's what. Yeah, because you're on the up and up. So it was a bicep curl for you. For me, it was something else. But yeah, right. You guys do the math.
Gotcha.
So along my fitness program, Jake, and I don't want to. Listen, we're friends, I don't want to appear insulting to you when I say certain things right now. Mm-hmm. But here's what I'm going to say to you.
Is that like now you're prepping me for what's about to come?
Yeah, that was me preparing you, okay? I've told you I do this in my workout, so I hate cardio, right? I can't pedal to nowhere, and I get it. And they have these bikes now where you can, you see you're going through terrain, you're still pedaling to fucking nowhere,
right?
You're a fighter, you get out Rocky style and you do road work, right? You're out there running. I know you used to run with Mark, right? You hit now he won $12. That guy, same guy, $12. He's up $20. He's so fucking happy right now. That guy here at the Hollywood Park Casino. Shameless plug for Hollywood Park Casino, the brand new Hollywood Park. Anyway, you're used to doing crazy cardio. I've heard you do this rowing thing, which I tried and I gave up on the rowing.
Yeah.
You row something like 300 calories in 15 minutes or something. What is it that you do?
Yeah, exactly. That was more of how fast you can burn 300 calories, which I know it doesn't sound like that much, but beating your time. So I was in the 16-minute area, but
yeah, it doesn't sound like that much, which is what inspired me to attempt it. Mm-hmm. I can row 50 calories, and then I feel like my heart's going to explode. My arms are tired. Everything hurts, and I quit. And I don't even want to tell you how long it takes me to row the 50 calories. It's a good 8 or 9 minutes to get to the 50 calories. There's no chance of me doing 300. So I gave up on the rowing, okay? Mm-hmm. And so I live in a high-rise, as you know. I live on the 31st floor, and my gym is in the basement. Mm-hmm. So for my cardio, I thought, well, I'm going to run up the stairs. I'll take the stairs home like a man.
Yeah.
Like Jake Ellenberger would do, right? I'm going to run up those stairs all the way up to my place at the end of every workout, okay? The gym's on the basement. I live on 31.
That's
Jake,
a lot of stairs.
It's a lot of stairs. I'm glad you just said that. It makes me feel a little better because I'm not ashamed to tell you that I made it to the third level running.
Third floor?
Third floor. And I took a break halfway to get to the third floor. And I'm not making this up.
Okay.
And I'm not in, or at least I thought I was in. I'm an avid softball player, Jake. I play softball. You may think that's a pussy sport, but softball is, first of all, the bases are 60 feet. It's short. It's a fast-paced game. Mm-hmm. It's legit. Okay.
I played. It's fun.
Okay.
It's fun.
So I get it. That's different than obviously MMA or doing 5-minute rounds or whatever all that stuff is that you do. But I didn't think I was in that bad a shape. I thought I can run up this. Yeah. Third floor. Can't do it. Okay. So then I thought, okay, well, that's a mistake. I'm not ready to do that yet. I just started working out. So let's just walk. And after a week, I'll be able to run. No. And that's why I wanted to bring this up to you is I cannot walk from the gym up to 31. I can make it the whole way, but I have to take 3 breaks. I take a break at the 7th floor, take a break at the 13th floor, 20, take breaks along the way. Mm-hmm. I would like to challenge you.
All right.
And this is the part where it might sound insulting. And if we had listeners, I know we have some because we cracked the top 100. Don't know if we're still there. If we have listeners, though, that follow me on Twitter, let's say, at John Orlando, Jon Orlando, at Twitter, shameless plug. Also, Ellenberger MMA at Twitter. I'm sure I'll get hate tweets, which I'm kind of excited about getting the hate mail.
Really?
I've never had. It just means at least they're talking about you. Right?
Sure.
At least
Okay.
someone's listening.
Yeah.
They would just tell me they're listening, even if I'm hated. I just want to be heard.
Yeah.
You know? I don't think you can make it, and this is where I want your opinion. Do you think Jake Ellenberger, let me tell you about Jake Ellenberger. I mean, I know everyone knows, but like Jake Ellenberger fought Carlos Condit in a war. Mm-hmm. Okay, where round 1 was like an amazing fight. Okay, Jake Ellenberger knocked out Jake Shields. Jake Ellenberger, has stood in front of Robbie Lawler for 3 rounds or so. Like Jake Ellenberger's fought Rory McDonald. Jake Ellenberger finished Matt Brown, first guy to do it in round 1. I predicted it. Shameless plug for my predicting skills. I mean, you've been in some battles. Okay, some ended great. Some didn't get the result we wanted, but you still competed. You show up and you competed. Okay, like a top professional athlete that's in the UFC would. Okay. I still, even though I know all that about you, I know you can row the fucking 300 calories in 15 minutes or whatever. I know you can go, spar, or endless rounds in the gym and then go to the fight and, do 5 minutes, rounds times 3 and even times 5. When the time comes, you're ready. I know you're ready. I still don't think you can go from my basement to the 31st floor without taking a break. Walking up the stairs.
Walking?
Yes, walking. Can you do it?
Well, John, first of all, are we even friends? I thought you were going to say like running, like running. That seems a little challenging. Walking, I could walk it 5 times without stopping.
Now,
but
careful,
running would be
what you're saying here, Jake.
I'm saying I could jog it without stopping. I can do that,
Jake.
And I'm telling you this because I did this. Well, I was at a hotel.
31st floor, Jake.
Yeah. Don't interrupt me when I'm talking.
I'm sorry.
I was at the national tournament for Division II wrestling national championship. I actually got a similar challenge, and this is what I was doing. We were seeing, it was me and another guy, and we're seeing who was going to stop first. And I kind of liked this challenge. I was like, okay, yeah. And I was actually getting ready for a fight. I can't remember which fight it was, but I was getting ready for a fight. And I was like, of course I'm going to do this. So we would go down in the elevator, all the way down to the ground. And what we would do is we'd march up the stairs all the way to the top. I think there was like 48, something like that, 48 floors. We'd do that, and then we get back, you get in the elevator, come down. So that was your break. And it'd be basically like who can go longer. And I mean, we got into like the 15, 16, and then it was like, all right. We both were like, it was after like, 40, 45 minutes of doing this. We're like, all right, we're both going to call it.
But let me understand this right. You're telling me you marched up 40-something flights of stairs with no break.
Oh, yeah. It was a fast jog.
I'm having trouble believing this, that I'm in that. Here's what it is, and don't take this personally.
No, I don't take things
It's not
personally.
that I have trouble believing you're in that great a shape. I can't come to terms with me being that worthless. That's what this is about. It's not you. It's me.
It's more of a mental thing. Like it's not like.
Oh, so not only I'm weak physically, I'm also weak mentally now.
Well, that's not
Such a nasty person.
I wasn't directing that like specifically there, but what I'm trying to say is you haven't I do this every day. You know what I mean? Like we break these mental barriers every day. So I'm saying like it'd be like me trying to play 18 holes of golf against a guy who plays golf every day. It's not, you know what I mean? Like
Okay.
That's the only thing I was trying to.
With that. Okay, now let me ask you this. Here was the second part of my challenge, and I have not talked to him about this, and I don't want to say I'm not friends with him like I'm friends with you, but I know Terrell Owens.
Okay.
And then I'm wanting to know. I think Terrell Owens and you start at the basement. Mm-hmm. I want to know who you think makes it to 31 the fastest.
31st floor.
Yeah. Can you beat Terrell Owens? That's the question.
Has he been training? Is he in shape?
I
He
have
looks
no
like
clue.
he's in
He
shape.
always looks like a
He
beast.
looks like he's always in shape.
Yeah.
I could.
He's older than you.
Correct.
He's over 40.
Okay.
I'm not sure his exact age, but I know he's over 40.
Mm-hmm.
He has not played a professional football game in a few years. I'm not sure how many. I want to say 3 maybe.
Right.
I want to know if you think T.O. beats you up those stairs. And I don't mean my dad, T.O. I mean Terrell Owens, number 81. One of the greatest receivers of all time.
I know. I'm a huge fan of T.O.
Right? It'd be fun to do, right? Maybe we do it
Yeah.
for charity or something. We figure something out.
Why not?
It'd be kind of fun. And I'm going to play too. I want to play also.
Yeah, I mean, it would be close. I can assure you that.
Like between the 3 of us, you mean?
Well, more so me and T.O., but you could surprise
Yeah,
us.
no,
I don't know.
I'm 190 to 1 underdog there
Yeah.
to just make it to the 10th floor without stopping.
This is what you should do, John. Every time you walk it, just say like, I'm gonna go 2 floors. I'm gonna go 2 more floors before I take a break. Then the next time, so it's basically you're cutting down your breaks, and eventually
Okay.
you go to 2 breaks, 1 break.
I like that.
Now you're crushing barriers.
All right, I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna try to raise my staircase game because it's not strong. I was really demoralized that I had to take a break at 7, and I couldn't even run. Now so you think you could even jog up to 31?
Yeah.
I just don't think you can do it, dude.
100%.
I don't think you can do it.
I am as sure as night follows day, John.
All right, we're gonna have to document this maybe on social media or something. Maybe it's an Instagram series or something. We're gonna figure out how to do this so that the people can see it.
Okay.
All right, that's gonna be a little project I'm gonna work on. We're gonna figure this out. I'm gonna hold you to this, though, Jake. You're coming downtown.
I'm 100% positive I can do this.
If you could do that, you're already like beast status. I don't even know what we'd have to label you. I mean, that's just crazy if you could do that.
Yeah, I just know I can. I wouldn't. I put it in my mind, and
You just do it.
I want to
just
accept.
march.
I won't accept anything else. Yeah, it comes to a point where it's like, all right, uncomfortable. I don't feel good. I can't breathe. You suppress that.
Right.
Put it away. It doesn't matter. Put it away.
I don't suppress it. I succumb to it. But yeah. Okay, now let me bounce this off you. I had a major argument last night with a female friend of mine.
Okay.
This is also along athlete highway, and I made a statement that she found very offensive. It's a friend that I've known for 30 years. I've known this girl for 30 years.
Okay.
Okay, and she's
What kind
got
of
kids.
athlete is she?
Kids now. What's that?
What kind of athlete is she?
Well, so she was an ice skater when I met her.
Okay.
And so she was into like gymnastics and ice skating, and she's got kids. I'm not sure how old they are. I could go back and look at my text, but it doesn't matter. But her son. So she's going to Dallas. I want to say this week for some sort of maybe like Olympic trials or something for gymnastics.
Mm-hmm.
He made the cut out of however many people, whatever.
Nice.
And so I made a comment and I said, "Oh, that's great, congrats." And then she wrote something back, "I don't think you realize how big this is, And I said, it's great, I think it's great. But I made a joke, and I said, well, a joke, but it's not a joke to me. I said, gymnastics, just remember, gymnastics is not a sport. It's an activity. I don't consider it a sport. This caused World War III via text. I mean, maybe I'll pull up some of the texts because they were kind of funny. I'll see if I can pull these up while I'm still talking to you here. But
does she know you were? She knows you were a comedian.
She does know that. But she was very upset. So she says, if you haven't seen what these people actually do with their bodies, yes, of course. Oh, wait. She says, you're so wrong. I invite the opportunity to prove you wrong. Just because you can't bet on it doesn't make it an activity, is what she was saying. She was saying, like, maybe I meant because you can't bet on gymnastics, so it's not a sport. But I was just saying it's an activity to me because here's the thing. Like, and I would say the same thing about Olympic diving. And I know you're a diver. That's not a sport.
Well, I was. Yeah, not right now.
Right, you were. But, like, gymnastics.
I can still do some insane gainers, but keep going.
I've seen you off the high board, actually, on a video once. Yeah. It was incredible. I didn't know you could do that. Gymnastics and diving, for me, I would consider those activities because the score is subjective. It's not like swimming,
Sure.
you're up against the clock. Sprinting, you're up against the clock.
And there's a clear winner.
There's a clear winner.
Right.
With gymnastics, it's like, okay, one judge gave you a 9.6, and he can tell you why, but I feel like it's too subjective.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, I don't know. I don't know a lot about gymnastics as far as how they score it, but I would definitely be leaning towards your argument. I think that's a fair point.
You do.
Yeah.
Like
It also depends what people define as a sport, you know. But when the judging is subjective, you know, and there's we even talk about it with MMA and you know, rounds could go either way, but usually with the 10-point must scoring system, there's always a clear winner. I mean,
right.
Obviously there's fights that are very close, but it's not like a casual fan wouldn't know most of the time who won a round. Most of the time, you know,
right.
where as in gymnastics, you would have to be explained by the judge of why they gave somebody a score.
Right. And that's all the point I was trying to make with that. Well, it caused World War III via text last night. It even spilled over into this morning. Finally, I tapped out. I just, okay, fine. It's a sport. Happy? It's a sport. It's a stupid sport. No?
I'm not a big fan of it, but I know how
bowling
challenging
is more
it
of a
is.
sport to me than gymnastics.
more.
You're throwing a ball.
Mm-hmm.
There's several. You know, you got the wax on the lanes. It's very difficult.
Mm-hmm.
You know, very few people get a 300. Right? There's only you'd have to throw 12 strikes to get a 300.
My uncle actually bowled 300 once.
My uncle bowled a 300.
Stop it! Really?
A couple times.
Wow.
I actually have two uncles that bowled 300s. One of them, I think he won a Cadillac once for doing it.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, my uncle Steve, he got a ring, a jacket, a bunch of things. But you know, he was one of those few on the banner.
Right.
But yeah, I think I was in high school, and we were like, what? Like,
right.
It'd be like if I can get over like a 120, you know.
What's the best
300.
you've ever bowled?
I've broke 200 and I was really happy. But that's
Okay.
that's the best.
I've got a 236 under my belt.
Really?
Yep. I
Wow.
actually have my own ball.
Really?
100%. I have a purple ball and it says The Beast on it, and I didn't make it say that. It's just the brand, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I have my own shoes and a bag, which is really embarrassing. But
Was
I
it
have
like
that, and I used to be in a league.
Okay.
Yeah, but that 236 is misleading. I only did that once. I'm the same as you. Like, if you break 200, I'm like, it's like cartwheels.
Yeah, exactly. Backflips.
It's so frustrating, that game.
Mm-hmm. It is. I had a guy. So my chiropractor. He's a therapist, Dr. G. But he's really good at all these kind of odd and end sports like table tennis and bowling. And every time I go in there, he loves to talk shit. He's like,
So table tennis is a sport over gymnastics.
yeah.
Okay. Agreed.
There's a clear winner in table tennis.
I agree.
It's also in the Olympics.
100%.
But so is gymnastics. But anyway.
So it's curling. So you can't really go by the Olympics.
Right.
That's the dumbest sport, or that what
Curling.
activity, whatever you want to fucking call it. It's like mopping on crack is what it looks like. I don't even understand what the goal is.
Yeah.
But I digress. Go ahead.
Anyway, Dr. G, his name's Dr. G, and so every time I go in there, he loves to just talk crap. And he even, and I'm pretty good at ping pong. I'm not gonna lie, John. I'm pretty good.
I've seen you play. I know you are. I can back you up on that. Ping pong is definitely a sport.
This guy is good. He says he's so good he could beat me with a CD case. Like he even went as far as he could beat me with a dress shoe.
Come
I'm
on.
like, but so I was talking to a couple of the motocross guys that he also works on. He's good. He's really good. I've seen him. He's a CD. Like, how insulting would that to lose to a guy on a CD case?
That'd be amazing. Tell me you did it.
Well, no, we haven't played ping pong yet, but we actually bowled. And he goes, I could beat you left-handed. He's a right-hander, so not that he's like left-handed, like doing the sandbag thing, but
Right.
So we actually bowled. He bowled left-handed, and I bowled regular. And I started beating him. And he'll admit that and then he goes, "Oh shit!" He changed hands. He had to go. He had to pull out the.
Oh.
Yeah, he had to pull out
All
the
right.
A game for me.
And did he end up winning?
He did. He ended up beating me, which is the only actual real game we ever played. But he'll never let that go.
Do you know how many strikes you've bowled in a row? With the best run of strikes?
The best?
Yeah.
I'd say 4.
Okay.
That's probably the only time it'll ever happen too. But.
Yeah. It's tough. It's so tough. What we got a little sidetracked.
Are you a fan of of baseball?
I'm a baseball fan.
Okay. Have you watched the Dodgers? Do you like them?
I love my Dodgers.
Are you a movie guy?
Are you going back? I still didn't see the movie. I know. I still didn't watch the movie.
The Sandlot?
I forgot all about it, to be honest.
All right.
I need to watch it.
It's good.
It's that good?
I thought it was good.
All right.
If you're a baseball fan, I'll say it's good. But if you're if you're one of those people that just could care less about baseball, you might be like, nah.
I promise you, I watched that movie before the next time I see you.
Okay.
100%.
All right.
And I will be able to. You can quiz me on movie quotes or whatever, and I will rise to the occasion. I will get them right, which will prove that I saw the movie, that I didn't cheat and just read a review or something. I will watch the movie.
We will see.
Over here.
We will see.
Right? Okay. My prediction of the Dallas Cowboys winning the Super Bowl was incorrect. That's not going to happen. They've been eliminated, but I am here to tell you that the Atlanta Falcons and Vegas Dave are going to cash in big. And Vegas Dave bet on them 75-1 at the beginning of the year.
Wow.
Why doesn't Vegas Dave tell me that? I guess you have to. We need to subscribe or whatever to his picks. Like, why would we not do that? The two action junkies that we are. Why do we not?
I don't know.
You've got a buddy too.
Yeah, I got a crack. Yeah, Bill Krackenberger. He's
right. He's a
great.
handicap. I bet you he's got the Falcons too.
He's
probably.
a big handicapper. I'm not sure. I haven't even asked him actually. He was actually, when I talked to him before the Cowboys game, he had picked them in the last game.
He picked the Cowboys.
Yeah, because everybody else was on the Packers side.
And where's the value?
Always in the underdog.
But we never.
You know what? I actually thought the Cowboys could do it because they're having a hell of a year, but
I think next year they come back strong.
Because they're a young team.
Yeah, those Falcons are good too, though. They're like young and they run fast. Like I feel like they run. It's almost like watching them. It's like if someone put it on fast forward or something. Run all over that fucking field. It's crazy.
They were impressive.
But then you got Brady.
So you're with them. They beat the Patriots.
I think they beat the Patriots.
Really?
I don't know what the spread. Do you know what the spread is?
It's not big.
No.
I don't think they do though. I'm gonna have to go with the Patriots.
Really? I mean, normally I would say you're out of your mind to bet against Tom Brady, but all I know is Vegas Dave said the Falcons a while back, and I thought, is this guy nuts? And yet here they are going to the Super Bowl, and they just demolished.
Did he share this like before the season started, or was this like?
Well, I believe he shares it with you before the season starts if you buy his like package, which I did not. Even though he picked the Kansas City Royals to win the World Series a few years ago, and he won like $2 million or something. He had them at the very beginning of the year. And you'd think that would be enough that when Vegas Dave says, yeah, you should probably get my picks for football and baseball, you'd think, yeah, I probably should. Like we do dumber things with the $2,000 or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Well, at least I have.
Yeah.
I've done dumber things with the $2,000.
Right. Blackjack.
I played a little blackjack before I came in here today at the Hollywood Park Casino. I did.
How'd it go?
It went well, Jake. I paired the square a couple times.
Yeah?
I did. I had a perfect pair with fives one hand, five of diamonds, and then I got it again on eight of spades. But I wasn't betting crazy. I was playing social blackjack at Hollywood Park Casino.
Really?
Yeah. So I won a little bit of money.
Have you ever heard of the 1,000-hour rule?
No.
No, okay. Would you say you've played, I don't know, in your lifetime of blackjack, maybe 1,000 hours?
For sure.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I was thinking about this. I was reading this book, Outliers.
Okay.
and there's a chapter on the 1,000-hour rule. If you could relate that to gambling, you would be a grandmaster a couple times
meaning
over.
if you've put 1,000 hours into anything,
to master,
you're a master.
Right.
Okay. That's interesting. There's two ways to look at that. You could look at it like I'm a master at blackjack. You could also look at it like I'm a master at losing, which I think I am the latter. I'm a master loser. So what you've told me today, Jake, this is actually a perfect segue into this. Here's what I've learned today from my friend Jake Ellenberger is I'm weak physically, I'm weak mentally.
I never said that, actually.
And I'm a master loser.
I was saying if that rule were to apply to blackjack, you would be a master a few times over.
Okay, well then, yeah, call me a 4th degree master loser. Okay, this is what I drive down to the Hollywood Park Casino for, in the beautiful city of Inglewood, for this verbal abuse. Don't you fight enough in the fucking cage that you got to pick on me?
I thought I was being supportive here, like we're
Ellenberger MMA #bullying. Okay, really? Is that the campaign I got to start?
That wasn't my intention, John. I mean,
Jake, I called you last night. I don't remember what time it was, but I called you last night. Why don't you tell the people what happened when I called? Tell them. Tell them.
I pushed end.
You pushed end. You sent me to voicemail. Jake, I called you this morning. Why don't you tell the people what happened? Tell the people what happened when I called you this morning.
Did that happen again?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Really?
And I had to write, I have great news, which ended up not coming through. But that's not the point. At the time, it was coming through, and there was great news.
That's true.
Yeah.
But that was the first time I had ever done that. Like,
You keep saying that.
no, really, that like last night was the first time ever.
And today was the second?
Well, I was actually in a conversation with a potential guest, so I thought you would be like, "Oh, sweet, we're a rising tide raises all ships," kind of thing. But no, it's
Wait, what is that? Say that, a rising tide?
A rising tide raises all ships. Like
I love that. All right, that's a very Midwest. That's a Midwest. A rising tide. Where'd you get that from?
That's been around for I don't know.
It has?
Yeah, it's been around for thousands of years.
That's kind of like that dog will hunt.
I guess.
No? That dog will hunt. I remember when I lived in Branson, Missouri for a little
Yeah,
while.
Missouri, I
That
can
was
see
where I
that.
first heard that. Someone was like, that dog. I was like, hey, so should we meet tomorrow at 5? Yeah, that dog will hunt. I was like, what?
I've heard that a lot.
That saying.
Growing up in Nebraska.
And, yeah, what about so in Nebraska, you let's say you walk into like a 7-Eleven or something, and you get a Coke and some cookies and whatever, a bottle of Advil, and the guy says, "You want a sack with that?"
Oh, yeah.
Do you want a bag? You want a sack with that?
Yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah.
Depends what part, but in Nebraska, if you go western, like past Lincoln, in more of the western,
And
Nebraska.
they call Coke pop, not
exactly
right.
not
You
soda.
want a pop?
Yep.
Yeah, that was a good culture change. My Missouri phase.
Did you live down there?
I lived in Branson, Missouri for 6 or 7 years, from like
Nice.
93 to 98 or 99. Yeah, it was actually great. I went there. I thought I was going to stay 6 months, and I ended up staying 6 or 7 years.
Really?
Got in a softball league. Got in a bowling league.
Nice.
I was king. It was fun though. My dad still lives there. My dad still lives in Branson.
That's what he said.
Yeah, he loves it there. I mean, it's nice. But at the end of the day, I'm an LA Vegas guy. I got to be closer to Vegas.
Okay.
I need to be near the casino, Jake. Although
All
you have a
right.
casino in Omaha. You have a couple.
Yeah, well, Council Bluffs, technically, yeah, right there though on the
Right.
river. Council Bluffs has the Horseshoe, Harrah's, a few of those.
When I first went to Council Bluffs, correct me if I'm wrong, there was Harvey's Casino, right, which is now Harrah's maybe, or
Yes.
okay. So there was the hotel part, and then you'd walk back to the casino, and you would step over like you're walking. You were like walking into a tent, basically you were walking across onto the water. It didn't go out to sea or anything, or in the river or whatever it is. What is it? Is there a river over there? I don't fucking know, Jake. I failed geography. All right, I told you. CUU. Okay.
Right.
That means geography. CUU. History. CUU. Maybe math. DUU. You know. Maybe some class FU. Yeah. Right. But. Do you remember when Harvey's was like that? When like you were stepping onto it was on the water.
Yeah.
That's what made it legal or something, right?
Yeah, well, Ameristar still is like that. You'll like cross a little bridge and it's actually on the water.
Right.
But yeah, I remember when Harvey's was like that too.
Yeah. Good times. I had good times. I got snowed in. I had to stay 3 extra days. Everyone was like miserable, and I was like, "What's the problem? We're at Harvey's. Who cares? Blackjack all day long." And that was like when like the game Let It Ride had just come out into the casino.
Really?
Yeah. And everyone was like, Let It Ride is a blast. You don't like, I never see you play that though.
Nah, well, I have before, but.
You're too busy at war and blackjack.
War, I know. I haven't, yeah. I like I said, I shouldn't like the game War, but it's so simple and fast.
So Super Bowl weekend coming up. I know where I'm going to be. I don't want to mention other casinos when Hollywood Park is our sponsor, but if Hollywood Park had a Vegas location, that's where I would stay. But they don't have a Vegas location, so they're just going to have to understand that we have long-running history for Super Bowl weekend at the Hard Rock. I said the name, okay? And it's not a compete. One's in L.A., one's in Vegas. So really, the people at Hollywood Park can't be mad at me for that.
No. I can't imagine.
No. It's like really, that's how it should be. The people at Hollywood Park should tell people here, hey, when you go to Vegas, you should go to the Hard Rock. And people at the Hard Rock should say, hey, when you land in L.A., don't forget you're just a couple blocks at LAX.
Right.
From the Hollywood Park Casino.
Right, it's right
newly
there.
Remodeled.
Yeah. Brand new.
You can visit the Action Junkeez studio. Do you think we will ever get to a point where we could charge people to take pictures with us on the Action Junkeez set?
Yeah, well, of course.
Like around podcast 1,000, maybe?
1,000.
At what point? Joe's at 900 and something.
Is he really?
Joe Rogan.
Wow.
We'll never get there. Will we get there?
Yeah.
He goes every day, though.
Yeah.
At this rate, I'll be 93. Definitely bald. We've covered. Right?
Yeah, but Joe's one of the pioneers of the podcasting world, you know?
He is. Can we get him on? Can we get anyone on? We were supposed to have a guest today.
Oh, but
you failed.
Monday.
You failed
Monday.
and I failed. We both failed today.
Well, things change.
Schedules
change. People, exactly.
They got a bigger name on the other line.
But I'm excited for Monday.
Monday should be
good. We
have
Russell Peters is coming
I like
in.
that. I like you just say his name, so it like commits him. Russell, you're coming. You're coming on the Action Junkeez podcast,
he's
Russell.
hilarious.
Yeah.
He's coming in Monday.
You know who else we have next week? We have Lacey K. Summers coming in. Instagram famous, 7 million followers on Instagram.
7
Very
million?
pleasing to the naked eye. I just like to say the word Lacey K and naked in the same sentence. Just because.
Okay.
Yeah, 7 million followers.
Wow.
Is that crazy? The girl posts
insane.
a photo and she gets 500,000 likes. It's insane.
Imagine that.
There's no way she'll put us on her Instagram, though. I mean, it would kill the fans, right? They'd be like, what are these two clowns doing? Well, at least you're famous. At least you're a pro athlete. I mean, I got nothing. I got a cat. That's it. I got a cat. So, Jake, we're coming to a close here, podcast number 3. But before we go,
I have another question, John.
Oh, you got something? Okay, go ahead.
Well,
what you got?
I just had a question. If you were going to help me and the rest of our listeners understand that your trip to Mandalay Bay, if we were going to get any more of that story.
Oh, right. God, I love that you just... Good job, Jake. Good job. Okay, so where did I leave off? It was...
I'm by myself.
Again, creative license. You got to give me creative license. First of all, it's my fucking story, so I'll make the time whatever I say the time was. But I believe it was somewhere around 4 a.m. It's Memorial Day weekend in 2001, okay? It's about 4 a.m., and I'm all by myself, and I'm walking through Mandalay Bay,
Okay.
and I see a blackjack table. And I walk up to the blackjack table, and I tell the dealer, I don't remember her name, and it was empty because it's 4 o'clock in the morning, and it's technically Tuesday morning, like late Monday night into Tuesday morning. Like, do you understand the level of degenerate that
on
you
a
have
Monday
to be?
evening, Tuesday morning?
Right. Like, most people go home Monday so they could be at work by Tuesday morning on the holiday weekend.
Mm-hmm.
I'm staying the extra day. Okay?
Yeah.
So I walk up to the blackjack table, and I made an announcement, Jake, and I had $200. I think I covered this last week. I had $200 not in my wallet, but to my name.
Like all the accounts everything combined. That's it.
Correct. Everything combined. It was a bit of a tough year. Okay, clearly.
There's no savings back in it.
No,
Okay.
we did a lot of spending. You know how like sometimes you go out like maybe on a weekend or something, and you're like, wow, man, like where did I had $500? Like where did that go?
Yeah.
Like, that's kind of what I did with a few $100,000 that year. Okay. Basically, and you'll get to know more about where all that went as we gain listeners, as I've said. But so I've got $200 to my name, and I walk up to that blackjack table, Jake, and I'm feeling good. Okay, because
are you gassed up?
Yeah, I'm a little
gassed up.
I'm a little. Let's just say if USADA made me pee in a cup, I can't compete the next day. All right, let's just leave it at that.
All right.
It doesn't. They don't always disclose what was in that urine. Sometimes they do, but sometimes they just say, he tested positive for performance-enhancing drugs. Okay? So I tell the lady, I said, I'm going to win 5 in a row, and I'm going to stack it up each time. I'm going to try to go 200 to 400, 400 to 800, 800 to 1,600, 1,600 to 3,200, 3,200 to 6,400. That's what I'm going to try to do right now.
All or nothing.
All or nothing. Let it ride every time. Take the emotion out of it and just go. You're just locked in. You're in the zone, and you're just gonna you'll relate to. You're gonna leave it all in the cage, right? I'm gonna leave it all on the table.
I'm familiar with that term.
Right? Mm-hmm. You've been there. You're back up against the wall, right?
Have
Fighting
I ever?
For your career.
More than once.
You've been there, right? Mm-hmm. You just got to come out swinging, guns blazing, right?
You got nothing to lose.
March forward. Throw those hands.
100%.
Right? That's your recipe for
Let
success, isn't it?
That's it.
March forward. Jake marches forward.
That's it.
You see what I did there?
Full blown.
See what I did there?
Yeah.
All right, so I put the 200 down in the first hand, and I win. I don't remember what I get. Let's just say it's a 20. Who cares? It doesn't matter. I win the hand. So now I got 400 there. Okay? And now I put the 400 down, and I win that hand, Jake. Okay? And now there's $800 in that circle, okay? And now I put the 800 there. And I'm telling you a lot of this story, Jake, because I'm a man of my word. I told you, you get me 100 listeners, and I'll start fucking singing like a canary.
You did.
Okay.
That was actually word for word.
Right? I remember what I say, okay? And so I'm singing right now, okay? So I put the 800 down, Jake, and I win the hand. And now I've got $1,600, Jake, $1,600. And I'll tell you the rest of that story next week on the Action Junkeez podcast. This is John Orlando with my buddy Jake Ellenberger. Good night.
Thank you, guys.